Hello, everybody, and welcome, and happy almost Halloween. I am Bricker Boom, and today we're going to be taking a look at can I beat Pokemon FireRed with only a Gengar? Now, the answer is going to be a resounding yes if I'm being totally honest. I beat the game with Ghastly about 6 months ago, and while it was difficult towards the end, it wasn't impossible. With this kind of thing, it's essentially just seeing how quickly can I beat the game with a fully evolved Pokemon, and what type of hurdles am I going to face along the way. I don't think the starter necessarily matters for this particular run, if I'm being completely honest, since the only one that we would technically resist is Venusaur and his poison attacks. To look at Gengar, though, he has a massive special attack and a pretty good speed stat as well, so we're likely going to be relying on as many special moves as possible. For the beginning lab battle, it goes pretty much like you'd expect. We can't be attacked at this point in the game since they only know normal type moves, so it's not long until we're able to go ahead, beat him, and move on. Now, while the rival and some wild Pokemon can attack us directly, we also can't attack them. The only way we would technically be able to attack normal types at this point is to drain all PP for all of our moves, and then we would have Struggle. The other option requires us to level all the way up to 31, use Hypnosis, and then use Dream Eater. The issue with Dream Eater, though, is having to rely on Hypnosis to hit because it's a 55 accuracy move, and then swapping over to Dream Eater, hoping to take them out before they wake up, and if they do wake up, having to do that again. Rather than doing either of those things, we focus on what we can take out with the bug catchers along the way, and soon enough we're trying to face Brock. Since the optional rival fight includes a Pidgey, we avoid that for now. We'll have our work cut out for us at Cerulean, I'm 90% sure. With our way through Viridian Forest, honestly it isn't too complicated. The only thing that's unfortunate is how little Lick actually does. The secondary effect it can have is nice, but at the end of the day, it's just a 20 base power move. Thankfully, Gengar's stats are able to make up for it, and then it's time to face Brock. Brock leads with Geodude, who can't actually do anything to us. His moveset is Defense Curl and Tackle, so we do take a long while to take him out, but we finally do so. With Onix, you have to put it to sleep, which we do, then use Curse, and then begin licking. I did try this once without doing so, and unless you just get insanely lucky on the paralysis, Rock Tomb just does far too much. But either way, that's one badge down, and we move on. The next round involves avoiding some trainers given their normal typing, and remember when I said we'd have to rely on Struggle? Well, that's not entirely true. I had kind of forgotten when writing this at the beginning, the Gengar can use Mega Punch, which we do end up learning. With this particular area, we have two options, either fight the rival or fight Misty, and I opt for the rival fight. I doubt Misty will be too difficult, but I feel like we should at least go ahead and get the extra levels if we need them. Pidgeotto's first, and we select Nightshade because we're an idiot and we constantly forget things. Pidgeotto hits Gust, and we have to hit it with quite a few Mega Punches before it goes down, but unfortunately by now we're well below half our HP. Next up is Abra, who can't fight back, and a few Nightshades take it down. With Squirtle, we use Nightshade as it uses Withdrawal, and we use another Nightshade as we get whittled down bit by bit with Water Gun. With Rattata, we select Nightshade again, and thankfully don't get punished. We can take it down with 2 Mega Punches later, and that wins the battle. The route to the north and freeing Bill is simple enough, and it's at this time I'd like to remind you to subscribe to the channel. While I know it's not my most popular content, I do have Dead by Daylight matches, Dead by Daylight Jeopardy, reaction series, and more if you're into that kind of thing. And as always, if you want to hang out with me outside of the YouTube-verse, make sure to go ahead and join the Discord. You can find the link below, but if it's expired, you can find it through my Twitch page. For some reason, Discord updated so that you can't create never-expiring links anymore without Nitro, but I'm broke, and the old ones that have been created beforehand are still working. It's basically just Discord being Discord. Anyway, Misty time. Staryu goes down to a single Shadow Punch, leaving us with just Starmie. Starmie gets hit down to red and hits with a decent Water Pulse. Misty heals up and we bring it back to red, and then the next turn we're able to take it down for the victory. With this, I feel like it's actually going a little bit better than my Mewtwo playthrough. I'm not sure if it's the access to move, the speed stat, or what it may be, But I'm not complaining. Either way, we'll keep the good times rolling and attempt the rival fight on the ship. This time against the Pidgeotto, we don't select a Ghost move and take it to yellow with one Mega Punch as we get hit with Gust before taking it down. Next is Kadabra, arguably one of the scarier mons he has, and we take it down with a single Shadow Punch. As Wartortle comes out, we take it to half with Mega Punch as it uses Withdrawal. After that, we take it to red with another Mega Punch, get bit, and then knock it out with a Shadow Punch. Our Gengar likes to throw hands. Last is Raticate, as we take it to red, it uses Tail Whip, and then we can take it out next turn. After that, we become a doctor, leave the ship with our Seasick Doctorate, and head off to face against Lieutenant Surge to hopefully take his ranking. Voltorb is out first and goes to red as Shockwave does a little. Surge heals up and we take it back to red and then take it out next turn. Pikachu is, well, it's a Pikachu and it goes down to a single shot. Raichu goes to yellow and hits us with Thunder Wave, then hits us with a Shockwave before we can take it out with a final Shadow Punch and move on. After this is when the game begins to open up with what we're able to do and even our moveset as well. Celadon Game Corner has some amazing TMs, especially for someone with as much of a move variety as Gengar. First though, it's time we try the Giovanni fight. Giovanni first sends out Onix, and it's a 3-hit with Shadow Punch while it hits us with soft rock throws. With Kangaskhan, we start with using Mega Punch, and it uses Tail Whip twice. Unfortunately, we miss one of our Mega Punches, and it responds by taking us all the way down to 9 HP before it goes down. With the Rhydon, we just have to cross our fingers, and it's a 3-shot, but it only uses 2 Scary Faces, and that lets us take it down and move on. Once again, we actually remember to fight Erika before heading back to the tower. We also grab Psychic, and then head to the gym. Victory Bell is first and goes down to a single Psychic, and the same fate falls upon Tangela. With the Vileplume, yeah, it also goes down to a single Psychic, and that allows us to move on. With that, it's 4 badges down, and that allows us to head back to the tower to face off against the rival. Also, small shout out, I have a Halloween spook lock that's going to be going up on the channel for a little Halloween celebration. I'm not 100% sure what the upcoming weeks will look like with the holidays up ahead, but I'll try to keep y'all informed in future videos. This time, when we go to the rival fight, we remember not to try using a ghost move on a part normal type and opt for Thunderbolt instead, taking it out with 1 shot. With the Execute, it goes down to a single Shadow Punch, which is great considering it has status powders. From there, Kadabra is a 1-shot with Shadow Punch, Wartortle is a 1-shot with Thunderbolt, and then Growlithe is a 1-shot with Psychic, and that wins us the battle, allowing us to move on. Through the next stretch of the game, it's essentially going to be a bit of a gauntlet. There aren't many mandatory trainers, but there are lots of fights. But as always, we do the Safari Zone first, then stroll into Koga's gym, and get an immediate 1-shot from the first juggler that we come across, which was entirely unexpected, and I'm very thankful it's not a Nuzlocke. With Koga, though, I have to admit, I feel pretty good about our chances, especially knowing their strongest move, Explosion, can't even touch me. The Coughing goes down to a single Psychic, and the Muck we can take to red as it begins to minimize. Koga heals up full, and then with 2 more Psychics, we can take it out. The next Coughing also goes down to a single attack, and then the Wheezing also goes down to a single Psychic, but I'm not entirely sure if the critical hit mattered. After that, it's time to head to Silph Co and wrap up that side of the story. The rival starts off with Pidgeot, and we take it out with a single Thunderbolt. The Execute goes down to our new move, Shadow Ball. The Alakazam we thankfully outspeed and take it out with a critical hit, Shadow Ball. Blastoise goes to what I have to imagine is 1 HP, and claps back hard with a bite that takes us almost half. It spins a turn protecting before going down. After that, all that's left is Growlithe, who goes down to a single hit as well. Next up is Giovanni, and we take down the Nidorino and 1 Psychic. Rhyhorn is also an easy 1-shot with Psychic. Nidoqueen goes to red and is only able to use her turn using Tail Whip before also going down. With Kangaskhan, we take it below half, paralyze it, and it only retaliates with a Tail Whip before also going down. Once again, with most battles, I try to give some sort of recap, but with this particular fight against Sabrina, there isn't much to cover. Every single one of her Pokemon goes down to a single Shadow Ball, except for Venomoth, who we use Psychic on, and it also goes down as well. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Gengar is performing better than Mewtwo. Also, an idea I had since Thanksgiving is here in the States on a Thursday, and that's when I typically do these runs. We'll do another legendary Pokemon run. We'll be beating the game with Mew, and seeing how differently it compares to Mewtwo. It doesn't have the same stats, but it has a much wider move pool, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll probably be set up like a vlog, since I haven't done one of those, and a lot has happened this year. But anyway, let's see if we can keep the good times rolling, and test out how we do against Blaine. Growlithe goes down to a single Psychic, and then Blaine sends out Arcanine. We don't quite take Arcanine to half, but we do end up lowering its special, and it hits us all the way down to 33 HP with a Fire Blast. Thankfully, due to the lowered special, we're able to take it out next turn. Ponyta also goes down to a single Psychic, and then with Rapidash we take it to yellow, but then Fire Blast takes us out. That was a bit surprising, and we try this again, but without the lowered special from the Psychic, the Arcanine is actually a 3-hit, and it typically falls into healing range, so we end up getting tossed around quite a few times, but I don't think we need to level up too much. In fact, what we do is we go around and fight the trainers in the gym, and that lets us level up once, and getting close to leveling up again when we go ahead and head back to challenge Blaine. Growlithe, as always, is a one-shot. When Arcanine comes out, we can now take it below half and still barely survive a Fire Blast. Now when we hit it a second time, it goes down. With Ponyta, it still goes down in a single shot, and then the final Pokemon is a Rapidash, who we actually get a crit, so that also goes down. The extra level and a half definitely helped, mostly with the Arcanine, and then the crit for the Rapidash, because I don't think it would have went down without that. But now, it's time to go up against the last of the 8 gym leaders and test our luck. With Gengar, I think we'll probably be fine given the dual Psychic typing that we have, especially against some of his Pokemon that have the Poison type, but there's only one way to find out. Once again, we're struggling to find a proper way to recap this battle because every single Pokemon is an easy one-shot. The only Pokemon that could possibly come close to outspeeding us is Dugtrio, and we even outspeed it. So with that done and out of the way, we're able to go challenge our rival one more time before we make it to the Pokemon League. The Pidgeot is up first, and we take it out with a single Thunderbolt. The Alakazam we're able to take down in a single Shadow Ball. Blastoise goes to yellow with Thunderbolt and only sets up a Rain Dance before going down to another Thunderbolt. Growlithe is once again a pretty easy one-shot, and same with Rhyhorn, where I'm certain the crit was overkill. Last up is Execute, who we take to yellow with Shadow Ball. It misses Stun Spore, which allows us to take it out the next turn and make our way to the Pokemon League. For the first time in a while, I have to admit, I feel pretty confident as we make our way through Victory Road. With Lorelei, we have Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball. For Bruno, we have Psychic. For Agatha, we have Shadow Ball and Psychic. And if I had to guess, Lance will probably be the only issue, but at least the Dragonite is weak to Thunderbolt. If I had to guess, Lance is where we'll get stuck at least a little bit, but we make sure to grab any last moment PP ups, elixirs, what have you, and then head inside to fight Lorelei. Lorelei first sends out Dugong, and we open up a Thunderbolt to take it to red as it sets up Safeguard. Lorelei heals up, and we can take it out with a critical hit Thunderbolt. Next up is Slowbro, and we use Shadow Ball to test damage mostly, and then take it to about half as it uses Surf and hits us hard. A Thunderbolt next does manage to take it out, but things aren't looking great. Lapras is next, and we can thankfully take it to a little below half with Thunderbolt, and then we get taken to 3 HP as the berry activates. We do swap to Psychic, but it does far less damage, taking us to yellow before the Ice Beam takes us down. Well, that was an unfortunate battle, and on top of that, it was the best attempt we have. Let's try again in a few levels. At level 60, Dugong goes to a Sliver, and then this time when Surf hits us, it doesn't take us to yellow, and instead leaves us just shy of 100 HP. Lorelei heals up, we take the Dugong back to red, and then we take it down next turn. Next is Slowbro, who goes down in one turn. Then when Lapras is up, we take it to low yellow, we get all the way down to 38 HP, and the berry thankfully takes it out of healing range. We can then take it down next turn. Cloyster can't do much and goes down to Thunderbolt, and then Jinx goes down to Shadow Ball. Bruno time! And you know how we've had battles where every single Pokemon goes down to a single shot? That's what happens here, except for Machamp, who lives in the red. The berry heals it out of the normal healing range, and then we wreck it the very next turn. After getting somewhat brickwalled by Lorelei, it's kinda nice having an easy battle. Gengar goes down to a single Shadow Ball, Golbat goes down to a Thunderbolt, the Haunter goes down to Shadow Ball, then Arbok goes down to Psychic. With the second Gengar, we take it to yellow as we get put to sleep and spend a few turns snoozing, but ultimately, we wake up and take it out to win the battle. With Lance, we have no problem with the Gyarados and the Aerodactyl, but the moment the Dragonite comes out, we have a big problem. It can take us out with 2 turns of Outrage, and since that move lasts 2 to 5 turns, we get demolished pretty quickly. It takes some time, and we try this again through various levels, and with a couple different movesets, and those lost attempts take us all the way to level 70. At level 70, the Gyarados and the Aerodactyl are still both going to be a one-shot to Thunderbolt. Now with the Dragonite, we still don't do half, which is a little disheartening to say the least. The Dragonite sets up Safeguard, and then the next turn we end up nailing it with a critical hit to take it down. The Dragonair goes to red and hits us with Dragon Rage before healing up. We take it back to red and lower its special this time around. The second time when Lance heals up, we're able to go ahead and take it down due to the lowered special. With the second Dragonair, we take it to red and get paralyzed. However, we're able to push past that and then able to take it down next turn. Final rival time. With Pidgeot, we take it out with a single Thunderbolt, and Alakazam is a one-shot with Shadow Ball. When Arcanine is out, we can take it to about half as Flamethrower hits us, and we take it down next turn. The Blastoise goes to red, and then finishes us off with Hydro Pump. About a dozen attempts later, and the Pidgeot and Alakazam are still the exact same. The Arcanine is still a 2-shot, and will still hit us with Flamethrower. With Blastoise, it goes to red. This time, though, does Rain Dance, heals up, and then we can take it down with another Thunderbolt due to getting the high roll on the damage. Exeggutor goes down to about half with Shadow Ball, misses Sleep Powder, but we don't take it down and we get put to sleep. However, the rival heals up, we wake up next turn, take it back to half as it sets up Light Screen, and then we can take it down next turn. With that, Rhydon is last, and we're only doing about a quarter damage, and it's only using Scary Face and healing up with red, but when Light Screen wears off, we're able to take it down, win the battle, and the run. I won't lie, I was considering having to level up a couple times for the last battle because we kept getting put to sleep by the Exeggutor and getting absolutely rolled from there, but I'm glad we didn't because it's always interesting to be able to see how just a little bit of luck in your favor can turn the tides in a battle. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween. I have a few runs that I'm currently working on that I hope you'll stick around for. As always, if you want to talk outside of YouTube, pop into the Discord, follow me on Twitter, do what you gotta do. But, as always, if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.